It's Friday, and we're back again with Faith Live Music. Thank you for tuning in. I want to explore this thought today, and it's this: can we be one? I mean, truly, is it possible to be united? Because there's so many differences among each other. People from different races, different places, people with different backgrounds, people with just different standards and habits. And sometimes we wonder, how could I be friends with this person? But can I remind you that when it comes to the church, you're not going to have always something in common with people that sit in church. But one thing that we have in common when we go to church or a Bible study is I've decided to follow Jesus. I've decided I want to grow, so I go to a Bible study. So yes, all these differences, but in Jesus, those differences are completely tear down. Those walls fall down. And I just love that we see Jesus himself speaking about being one. And there's actually power in that, right? When there is a football team, different team players, all different positions, but they have a goal to what? Score in the opposite goal from the opposite team, right? To what? Win. And because we all want to have the same commonness, we will work towards that. Husband and wife. Bible even says the two shall become one flesh. It's a mystery because a man is totally different from a woman, and yet they are called to be one. And when they're united and in harmony, there's a witness that they show, especially when it's a godly marriage. And let's not forget, I love music, right? Bassist myself. Me as a bassist, surrounded by a guitar player, by a keyboard player, by a drummer. Totally different sounds. But when they play together, the same key, all of it falls together, and there is a beautiful sound called music. So you see how our differences don't have to separate us. They can actually bring us together and create a force. And so yes, I do believe it is possible. Now, let's look at Psalms 133, where we see how it pleases the Lord when there's unity. It says in verse 1, "Behold how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. It's like the precious oil on the head, running down on the beard of Aaron, running down on the collar of his robe. It's like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing life forevermore." Beautiful poetry and beautiful reminder that it pleases the Lord when there is unity. But I want to show you Jesus himself interceding for us, praying and hoping that we will be one because of him. This is what it says in John 17, verse 11. "And I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, keep them in your name, which you have given me, that they may be one, even as we are one." So that just shows once more, right, the importance that oneness comes through Christ, because Jesus is one with the Father. And then fast forward, verse 22. "The glory that you've given me, I have given to them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I in them and you in me, that they may become perfectly one." So when you're one, it's Christ in you, the Father working in us, so that the world may know that you send me and love them even as you love me. Now, how is it possible to be one? Jesus being in us, perfectly one. So no, I don't think that we have it in us to be perfectly united. We have things that we fuss over. We have things that we divide ourselves over, even in church, right? But us as believers, as followers of Christ, we ought to think about being one, because that's where there's the power of the unity. And I want to close with an excerpt of a book that I've been reading in, it's called Fervent by Priscilla Shirer. And this is what it talks about when it comes to relationships and how important and essential it is. It says, "The gospel we share in common is meant to continue to be shared together. Both the giving and receiving of grace, inspiring each of us to pure living and spiritual fervency, so the gospel can shine outward to others through our loving, enriching relationships. Together, we are a mighty force. Satan knows that, and by remaining united, we let him feel that." So there you have it. If you're wondering, can we be one? I believe we can be in Jesus. For your marriage, seek Christ to be in the center, to be one. In your church, seek Christ to become one. Don't let your differences become a wall, but let Jesus tear down that wall. He showed us over and over again when he came. And I pray today that you will follow in his footsteps. Thank you again for tuning in, and make sure that you hit that like, that share, and do me a favor. There's other episodes. If you haven't checked them out, you can check them now out. And will you please subscribe and join our community? Thank you so much.